What makes a great leader? The chances are, if you've asked this question, you will get a multitude of answers. I mean, they'll all be different. This is a question, though, I have pondered a lot recently. Largely because, I want to grow as a leader and help get better at leading people and those around me. So, really not to surround myself in a bit of an echo chamber. That is just constantly hearing that you're right and that what you're doing is going along the right lines. So, I started to research who the experts are in the leadership space. It didn't take very long before landing on the name Simon Sinek. Sinek is a prominent member in the world of leadership, having written 3 books and delivered a world-renowned TED Talk. In fact, I've got 2 of them here. At his core, Simon Sinek is an optimist. He believes in a bright future and our ability to build it together. Often described as a visionary thinker with rare intellect, Simon teaches leaders and organisations how to inspire people. It's this inspiration which he believes will build a world which those who go to work are fulfilled every day by what they do. Yes, this is a lofty goal, but those who want to change the world often have those objectives. Just look at Elon Musk, for example, and the idea of colonising Mars. Sinek is on the charge to inspire people to do the things that inspire them. I know there are a couple of inspires there, but that's what it's all about. And that's what leadership is at its core. So in order for us to be better leaders, what can we learn from Simon Sinek? And that is exactly the question that led me to making this video. So by the end of this video, you will have learned the 5 lessons in leadership from Mr. Simon Sinek. So turn off the TV, grab a pen, and get ready to write some notes as we dive in. So here is a question. What are the top qualities of great leaders? Whilst we may sit there and ponder the question for a moment, Simon Sinek believes it is actually not a great mystery at all. You see, as is his considerable skill, he is able to boil down the question to a handful of things. And these are the 5 lessons in leadership that I believe we should all know. Number 1, starting with why. If you are vaguely aware of Simon Sinek's work, the chances are you will have seen the title of his first book, Start With Why. Ta-da! This groundbreaking book started life as a TED Talk, and at time of recording in September 2022, has been viewed over, wait for it, 59.9 million times. It's properly mind-blowing. I'll put a link in the description below to the video if you want to have a watch. After watching this one, of course. The reason why this book is so powerful is that he points out that everyone in an organisation knows what it is they want to do. Some even know how they do what they do. But very, very few know why they do what it is they do. It sounds slightly silly to say it out loud, but it's true. Sinek's belief is that most people don't come to work to make a profit for the company. That kind of makes sense. Whilst that might be the end result, it is not the driver of most people's motivations. Profit is an outcome. It's a result. These results come from the delivery of something valuable, or more specifically, value. In this context, why means, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organisation exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anybody care? In reading about Sinek's work and leading on this book, I don't believe that great leaders were actually looking for their why. Their goal wasn't to head out using the company as a vehicle to find their why. Instead, I believe that something happened in their lives that caused a powerful emotional reaction. It is this reaction that in turn instilled their driving purpose. This is the most powerful why a person can have. I can identify with this. I've talked in the past about my Ironman triathlon adventure in previous videos. Whilst in itself this isn't anything special, it's the purpose of doing so that makes me refer to it now. My younger brother was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer a few years ago, and it was my fear that I would lose not only a brother, but also having to look after a young family. And that's what caused me to take the proverbial plunge and complete the long distance Ironman. If you'd like to know more, please do check out this video here and you'll see all about it. But going back to leaders and this book, it's also important to note that none of these leaders set out to be first. Instead, they set out to serve others. This is a nuanced but really rather important distinction. Steve Jobs wanted to change the world. You may or may not remember, but he wanted to serve others in the pursuit of 1,000 songs in your pocket. That's quite a powerful example. Sadly though, most of us are not so lucky when it comes to understanding our why. It's easy to say, but hard to do in reality. Although it is a simple concept, it's derived by looking back on past personal experiences. There is no doubt that we live by many beliefs on a daily basis. These can be both limiting and growth beliefs. The growth mindset means we can grow and develop our thoughts, and limiting beliefs stop our progression and can lead us into falling into the trap of working 40-hour weeks, for example. As Sinek says, every company, organisation or group with the ability to inspire starts with a person or small group of people who are inspired to do something bigger than themselves. That's why, as a leader, it is important to find your why. It needs to be special to you, and my why, training for my brother, won't be as emotive to you as it was to me. And whatever your why is may not move me in the same way as you. But that's fine. Each person's why is personal. That's what makes it our why. So the first leadership lesson from Simon Sinek is find your why. To help you with this, I would recommend that you set out goals balanced around the three most important areas of your life. Firstly, establish clear personal, family, and health goals, because these are your why goals. Secondly, determine your personal professional development goals. These are your how goals. And thirdly, set out your business, career, and financial goals. These are your what goals. By doing this on a personal level, you will inevitably grow as a leader. Now, the second lesson is that of clarity. Think about it for a moment. If you don't know why you do what you do, how will anybody else? Seems obvious when you say it out loud, but many leadership positions forget this. Having clarity is what enables great leaders to articulate their why to their organisation. I mean, simply put, it goes beyond its products and services. First to their employees, and then to their customers. To lead requires those willingly to follow. It requires being part of something bigger than oneself. To inspire others to follow starts with having a clarity of why. I mean, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I've used this quote on many occasions because it seems obvious to me now, but it was very much a light bulb moment the first time I read it. By having clarity in why will lead you to the question of how will you do it? And this is where why and values intersect. Your principles and values will bring your why to life. I mean, it creates strong causes. Finding your why is simple compared to having the discipline necessary to never veer from your cause. Being accountable to how you do things is the most difficult part, because consider your situation for a moment. When you wanted to instill a new habit, how did it go? You want to go to the gym regularly? Easy to say, hard to do. You need to be held accountable. There need to be repercussions. It's about discipline. For values or guiding principles to be truly effective, they have to be verbs, says Sinek. This is where Sinek points out that it's not integrity, it's always doing the right thing. It's not innovation, it's look at the problem from a different angle. The discipline of how hinges on having the discipline to stay focused on the why, i.e. what you believe, and to remain true to your values. The final part is what you do and say must prove what you believe. Talk is cheap is another way of putting it. Your what is the result of your beliefs and the actions you take to realise those beliefs. In your organisation, it's everything you say or do, your products, your services, your marketing, your PR, your culture, and the people you hire. Consider this quote for a moment. If you are not consistent in the things you say and do, no one will know what you believe. Simon Sinek again. That's why I believe behaviours can be defined as how people act when no one is looking. As a leader, your goal should be to be the shining example to others to do the right thing, even when the right thing is hard. Now, the third lesson is about having a following, because being a leader requires having people that choose to follow you. You can't force people to do this. Trust must be established before anyone will make the decision to follow you. Trust doesn't emerge simply because a customer makes a decision to buy something from you. Trust is not a checklist. Fulfilling all your responsibilities does not create trust. Trust is a feeling that begins to emerge when we have a sense that another person or organisation is driven by things other than their own self-gain. You must earn trust by communicating and demonstrating that you share the same values and beliefs. As we all know, trust is earned, not bought. Accompanied to this, leadership trust relates to making others feel safe. Leaders should take the risks first. They should eat last. They should sacrifice so that other people feel safe and so that their people can gain. When they do this, the natural response of their people is that they trust and are willing to sacrifice for the good of the leader's vision. And then they can say that they did what they did because their leader would have done the same for them. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. At this point, it's worth referencing the founder and former CEO of Southwest Airlines, Herb Kelleher here, because he noted that the company's responsibility is to look after their employees first. Happy employees ensure happy customers. Happy customers ensure happy shareholders. And it needs to be in that order. That is your driver as a great leader. Number 4 is all about communication. Now, if you consider for a second, every company will have a logo. There are probably ones that you can see from where you're sat at the moment. Whilst companies have logos, very few have been able to convert those logos into meaningful symbols. For a logo to become a symbol, people must be inspired to use that logo to say something about who they are. The example Sinek uses is Harley Davidson. Most companies are bad at communicating what they believe. As we've already discussed, that is their why. Without clarity of why, a logo is nothing more than that, just a picture. To say that a logo stands for quality, service, innovation, and the like only reinforces its status as just a logo. These qualities are about the company and not about the cause. So let's go back to the Harley Davidson example for a moment. There are many, many people who walk around with Harley Davidson tattoos. This in itself might not surprise you, but some of them don't even own the product. They don't even have a motorbike. Why would a rational person tattoo a corporate logo on their bodies? The answer is that Harley Davidson have been crystal clear about what they believe. After years of discipline about their why and being consistent in everything they say or do, their logo has become a symbol. It no longer identifies a company and its products. It identifies a belief. And this is what makes it so powerful. It's not just what or how you do things that matters. What matters more is that what and how you do things is consistent with your why. Again, wise words from Simon Sinek. Also worth bearing in mind is, of recent days, Patagonia has made huge strides in trying to change the way that we operate in terms of climate change and giving back. They have a very strong why. Please do check out the book, Let My People Go Surfing by Yvon Chouinard, who is the founder of Patagonia. Brilliant, brilliant book from what he describes as a reluctant businessman. I think if you're talking about whys and clarity of purpose, there aren't many that are better at articulating it than him. Now, the 5th lesson is about who you serve. I say that being a great leader is like being a parent. Now, whilst I don't have children, I think the similarities are clear. Just as parents want to provide opportunities for their children, such as build self-confidence, education and discipline, etc., leadership is the same, but for non-blood related individuals. This is about helping others achieve more than they thought was possible. As often is mistaken, leadership is not a rank. While there are people that have authority, that doesn't make them a leader. Just because you are good at what you do doesn't make you a great leader. Check out the Peter Principle here. I mean, this is all about being promoted to the highest level of incompetence. Harsh but true, and you probably can identify a few people that fall into that bracket. There are people who have no authority, but they themselves are leaders. In turn, we call them leaders because they go first, they take the risk before anyone else does. They choose to sacrifice so that their people may be safe, protected, and so that they may gain. I think it's fair to say when leaders do this, their response is incredible. People will sacrifice for them, give them their blood, sweat and tears to see their leader's vision come to life. When they're asked why, the response is always the same. Because they would have done it for me. Isn't this the type of organisation we all would like to work for? I think so. It's about proverbially going to battle for others. You fight for what is right. You lead by example. If those around you know you will support them, both when times are good and bad, the response will be profound. This is the greatest secret to leadership. It is not about something you can Google or throw money at. It takes hard work and commitment. That's why great leaders are few and far between, but it is possible, and now you know how. And that's it. These are the 5 leadership lessons that will help you become a more accomplished leader, leaning on the insights from one of the world's greatest authorities, Simon Sinek. I would love you to share which of these lessons is most profound to you, so please do let me know in the comments below when you have used them and how you think they will help you in your career. But do you want to know what makes me special as a leader? Then please do check out this video here and you'll learn what it is. But with that, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.